Imagine this is your child, a mere 1.5 pounds, who has just been admitted to the neonatal intensive care unit. Imagine you can only hold your baby's hand through an incubator or attempt to hold them with all these tubes. Imagine this is your little brother or sister. You have no idea what is wrong with them, and you are continually being shuttled from home to school and the hospital by many different families every single day. I'm Meghan Schrader, and for my senior project, I created care packages for families with babies in the neonatal intensive care unit to help them in this chaotic time. It is my future goal to become a neonatal nurse. For my project, I wanted to do something that would be career-oriented, but also something that would help others. I knew a couple of families whose babies had been in the NICU and another who lost her child after several months in the NICU. The time they spent there was very chaotic and filled with a lot of uncertainty, and they struggled to maintain normalcy for their other children. I knew there was a variety of needs for the babies, but I also knew there was a variety of needs for the families, and I wanted to do something that would address that. I knew that I was going to need someone who understood the needs of the families. That is why I chose Jen Schumacher as my advisor. I met Jen through my church, and I knew that she had lost a child in the NICU and that she runs an organization helping other NICU families. Jen helped me with figuring out what items to collect, what businesses to contact, as well as helping set up the delivery at Children's Hospital. In order for my project to succeed, I knew that I would have to advertise a lot and use social media to my advantage. Therefore, my first step was to create a Facebook page for my project. I immediately received positive feedback and even people giving me suggestions of items they would have liked to receive when their child was in the NICU. My Facebook page was reaching almost 230 people every week. On my page, I advertised where donations could be sent, as well as what items I was collecting. While allowing donations to be sent to the school and to my church, I had a few donation drop boxes set up. My first donation drop-off was at the Team Liam 5K in Big Lake in July. I made 300 flyers, which you will find a copy of in your folder, and placed them in the swag bags the runners would pick up the night before at pre-packet pickup. The day of the race, I had a box set up next to the registration table, and from this, I received donations of snacks, hygiene items, and activity books. While still receiving donations at my church, I had 2 boxes set up at the school. From this, I received even more donations of snacks, blankets, baby hats, journals, and hygiene items. I also drafted a donor letter, which you'll find in your folder, and contacted businesses to see if they'd be willing to donate to my project. From this, I received donations from Otsego Target, Elk River Cub Foods, and Westview Dentistry in St. Cloud donated 25 toothbrushes. Once I finished collecting all the items, I sorted through the items to see what I had and what was still needed. I used the gift cards from the businesses for the remaining items, and some families, instead of donating items, donated several Toys R Us gift cards, which I used to buy more games and baby hats, as well as the bags for the care packages. This was everything that I was able to collect. Assembling the care packages was a long process. I started by laying out 10 bags at a time, and from there placed 1 or 2 of each of the items on top of the bags. I then had to decide how I wanted to place the items into the bags. I decided that I would place the blankets and baby hats on the top of the bags so that the nurses knew who to give them to when they distributed them, as most of the bags were not gender neutral when it came to the blankets and baby hats. Each care package had 1 blanket, 1 baby hat, 2 games or activity books, 2 toothbrushes, 2 travel-sized toothpastes, a lotion, a chapstick, a journal, a package of makeup remover wipes, a package of tissues, a snack, and a letter to the families, which you will also find in your folder. After a total of 39 hours spent on my project, I was able to create 30 care packages, each valued at $80, a total value of $2,400. To set up the delivery, I was in contact with the donations coordinator, Maggie Overman, throughout my project. We were planning on a delivery date of November 10th, but a week before our expected delivery, we received word that they had to pass the information on to a few more people in order to get it approved because it was a specialty unit. At this point, there was nothing we could do but wait and hope that we would hear back soon to deliver the 30 care packages we had waiting. We finally heard back that our delivery was set for November 21st. We loaded the trunk and back seats up with all the care packages and headed down to Children's Hospital in Minneapolis. Upon getting there, we knew that we were not going to be able to carry all the care packages ourselves, but they had no cart available. All they had was a little red wagon. Initially, it seemed like it would hold quite a few care packages, but once we started loading it up, we realized it would only hold about 5. Walking into the hospital, I had a wagon in tow, and my advisor and I each had about 12 care packages on our arms. Once we got into the hospital, we met with the donations coordinator, Meghan Overman. She had me fill out an in-kind donation form describing what my donation was and how much it was valued at. She then gave me a folder with information about the hospital and their NICU unit. I was not able to personally deliver them to the families due to patient privacy, but the child life specialist in the NICU loaded them all up onto carts and would distribute them to the families as they saw best fit. While I was unable to deliver them personally, I was able to get a tour of the Ronald McDonald House and the NICU rooms. When you first walk into the NICU, there's an entire wall titled Stories of Hope. On the wall are pictures of the babies when they first came into the NICU and pictures of them now with descriptions on how they are doing. Inside each normal NICU room, there's an incubator, a chair, and a pull-up bed so that families can stay overnight with their child if need be. The Ronald McDonald House was attached to the hospital so that families with more critical care babies could stay overnight for longer term so that they were close by in case they were needed. That day, I left the hospital hoping that my care packages would leave an impact on the families that would receive them. Less than 24 hours after delivery, I received an email and pictures from one of the families who had received my care package. This is their son who was in the hospital with Pierre Robin's sequence involving a cleft palate and recessed chin, making him unable to breathe or eat on his own. They thanked me for the care package and said that it helped ease their transition into the NICU. It was nice to see that my care packages were already being delivered and touching the lives of those who received them. I have recently received even more emails from those who have received my care packages. This has really validated what I was hoping to accomplish with my project and has been the most rewarding aspect of it. Overall, my project played out how I would have liked it to, but if I were to change one thing, it would be to focus on both the large and the small items that I was collecting. Initially, I focused on receiving the large items I needed because I just assumed I would receive enough of the smaller items. But towards the end of my project, I had a lot of the larger items, but I was concerned I wouldn't have enough of the smaller items to fill them with. Fortunately, I ended up having enough to fill each care package. This project taught me a variety of things, from marketing and advertising to the needs of the NICU family. I learned the skill of marketing to businesses to gain donations and using social media to advertise for my project. I also learned about the variety of needs for the parents and the siblings of NICU babies. And with learning about these broader needs, I was able to enhance my communication skills. Prior to this project, I didn't completely understand how to communicate with NICU families because I didn't truly understand what they were going through. But through my project, I was able to communicate with many NICU families, and I am now able to effectively communicate with them. I believe in the future, this project will benefit me in my career as a neonatal nurse. Prior to this project, I understood there was a huge emotional toll on the families, but after doing this project, my eyes were truly open to the larger picture. I gained much more empathy and compassion towards what they were going through, and I believe in the future this will allow me to understand it from more than just the nursing side of it. Because of this, I believe that my project met 3 of the criteria. First, personal growth. This project stretched me and my understanding of the NICU, and it also allowed me to enhance my communication skills, not only with the NICU families, but with businesses as well. I also believe my project met the criteria for service. It was my hope that my care packages would somehow benefit the families that received them and bring them hope while they were staying with their child, and I believe that my care packages accomplished that. Lastly, I believe I met the criteria for career. This project directly relates to my future career as a neonatal nurse, and in the future will allow me to see the situation as larger than just the child. The idea of a larger picture in the NICU was also incorporated into my paper. I talked about the importance of a holistic approach in the NICU, and within my paper, talked about how life-prolonging technology, while it is able to save many babies who were unable to be saved before, can cause a variety of problems if they are overtreated, such as blindness, deafness, and cerebral palsy. I also talked about the negative effect on the families, such as the parents' relationship, the effect on the siblings, and the financial aspect, which goes beyond just medical bills. Lastly, I talked about the importance of spiritual and emotional care during end-of-life care in the NICU. As you can see, there are many more aspects to having a baby in the NICU that often aren't recognized. I used my care packages to recognize the needs of the families and to bring them hope as they stayed with their child. Thank you.
So what's your path in education to get to become a neonatal nurse?
I plan on going to University of Northwestern in St. Paul to get a 4-year degree in nursing.
Yeah.
And then I will go work in a hospital for 2 years and go back to get my master's so I can be a neonatal.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
So in the first picture, that was your brother?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were just giving a scenario.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
I have a cousin who he's a year older than me, and so he was born in '66, and he was born 3 months early.
Oh, wow.
So in the '60s.
Yeah.
You know. And so he was in the hospital for a year. And my aunt and uncle, they were ministers,
Mm-hmm.
and so they, you know, go and see him when they could with a busy life and being pastors. And we used to joke growing up because we were all born every other year. Me and my brothers, and then the 3 boys. And every year we'd line up in birth order. So that me and my brother's like extremely tall.
Mhm.
So it'd be like my brother, and then Dan, and then me. And so he was always a little shorty. you
Yeah.
know. And he had hearing loss in each ear, and he didn't have very good vision.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to look at him now, you would have no clue that he was born that early. And there were a lot of times where they never thought they could make it at all.
Yeah, it's amazing what they can do in there.
Yeah.
So, I assume that before you started collecting all this, you had already talked with the hospital about your
Yeah.
donation.
Through my job shadow last year, actually, I had some connections with people down at Children's Hospital, and my advisor also had connections because her child was in the NICU down there,
Okay.
so I was able to talk with them.
But, so it wasn't a surprise to you
No.
that they wouldn't let you,
No, I was communicating with them throughout my project.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, in the past, some people have done projects to raise money and make things for them. And they'd go down there, and they were so surprised they couldn't even take the items that they had
Mm-hmm.
ready to donate.
Yeah,
So,
did you have to find out what specific items you could collect?
They gave me a list of items that they looked for, and then I also talked to my advisor about what they allowed in there.
Okay.
oh, okay. So that's kind of how you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Nice job.
Good
Nicely
job.
done.
Very nice job.
Hit pause there first.
Oh,